Let's Talk World with Maria, and all of you guys know already what is this show all about. It is all about people who have passion, individuals, businesses who are into their into their skills, their talent, and they want to show it off around the world. And today I would like to feature our favorite guest of the week, Chaplain Dow.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for gracing my show, Tamia. And I know that I've known you from meetings, business meetings
Right?
from way before, and also she is connected with our Action Shot Production,
Right?
Stephen Sibo.
Right?
I don't want to actually spill all the things about you, so I would like to start by asking you, let us know more about you. Tell us more about you.
Excellent. And I'm very excited to be here. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
So my name is Tamia Dow, and I am from Las Vegas. I have lived here. Do you want that? It's okay.
It doesn't catch up with the camera.
Oh,
I with our microphone.
okay, good. All right. So, hi, my name is Tamia Dow, and I'm very excited to be here.
Me too. I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
I met, as she mentioned, I met her a couple of months ago, right?
Yes.
And she said, I have to have you on the show. So I was very excited when I got the opportunity to come today. The situation that allowed me to be able to come today makes me a little sad. And anytime I am being interviewed, I do want to take a moment and remember, because we are filming this during the first week of the kind of self-quarantine time of the coronavirus. So I would like to take a moment and just pause and have our viewers pause and just remember those who have lost their lives and those who are currently affected by the coronavirus. So let's just take a moment, say a prayer in this moment of silence. Amen. Thank
Amen.
you.
Thank you. That is actually empowering. And, as of yesterday, they already closed down 80%, I believe, of things here in our country. I think I would say country. And it's really, really sad. And that's actually helps a lot of people out there, empower them. And, we're going to pass through this.
Yes, this too will pass. Yes. When you think of the 23rd Psalms, and it talks about, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, it says, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. It doesn't say, yea, though I sit down and lament and cry and ponder in the valley of the shadow of death. It says, I walk through.
Through it.
So
There's no around it.
right.
Through it.
When you are in despair, run through it.
Yes,
okay?
run through it.
Don't
Embrace
sit
it.
still.
Embrace it, and it is what it is. Just pray, and it's just we've been through a lot of things in this earth, so I know this is one of those things, and yeah, with God's grace, we're gonna go through.
Well, and that's it. It's God's grace, and God is in control. Ultimately, we have to remember that God is in control. And we have a choice. We personally have a choice whether to choose fear or to choose faith. And a lot of people are running around choosing fear. I choose faith.
Me too.
So I haven't run to the grocery store and bought, 6 pallets of water and, toilet paper and all that kind of stuff, because, in the prayer that I say daily, which is the Lord's Prayer, and it's in the Lord's Prayer, which is in the book of Matthew in the Bible, it says, give us this day our daily bread.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I like that.
Doesn't say store up for yourselves, right?
You know what? This is really funny because I haven't been through to any department store for the past 2 weeks. And even though I see all these people panicking, getting all these
Stand
things,
in line,
yes,
fighting, just chaos. Yes.
I haven't. I said, what it is, what it is. So I never seen how it looks like inside the grocery stores until last night. So I went to the store and I said, oh, it's true.
Oh yeah.
Let me and I'm you can see I'm the calmest person. I'm not really panicking. So I went to although I already know I'd seen it on social media and everything, I still went through aisle to aisle. Oh yeah, it's not in there. Oh yeah, it's not in there. All right, so let me get my moisturizers and then walk out the door.
Right, right. Yeah, I did I called it a live remote on my Facebook, which is Chaplain Dow, Chaplain, Dow, DOW, on Facebook. I went through my local Albertsons on Friday, I think it was, just to see,
Just to
right?
see, yeah, just curiosity, out of curiosity, what's going on.
It was crazy. But when I say it was crazy, I wanted a period of time where there wasn't a lot of people there because all the shelves were empty.
You know what? That's really funny, Tamia, because I believe that it's not because we are running out of supply. It is because there's no manpower to put back all those supplies.
Well, they're hiring.
Yeah, let's go.
Smith's is hiring, and I believe Amazon is hiring
And
because
Walmart is hiring, I believe.
yes, any
And
place that's like a large box store because they have to get their shelves replenished.
yes,
So now some of these people who unfortunately are being laid off because
Go and
quite a few of our community are being laid off. The casinos are closing their doors, actually, which is unheard of in the history of Las Vegas, that a casino would literally shut down, close its doors, not rent a room, not have a gaming table going, not have a buffet or a food place going. Literally, there are more than 15 casinos that have done that, which is, again, like I said, unprecedented and unheard of in Las Vegas. And so now you have thousands of employees that are home. Some laid off, some furloughed, some getting paid, some not. You know, you have children, schools have been closed. You have children who are home now, and parents who are going, what am I supposed to do with my children? You know, I don't know how to homeschool them or educate them. You're telling me to keep them until almost a month now,
Yes.
until like the middle of April, you know, and then a lot of these young people were being fed at school. So they would get a breakfast when they go to school and they get a lunch when they go to school, but now they're getting nothing. So a few programs have put into place. The kids find out about, the school district itself has notified them where to go and pick up breakfast, snack, and a lunch for their children, and they have to physically have the children with them because they
Oh.
can't have just somebody drive up and go, "Hey, I got
Oh.
15 kids. Can I get 15, bags of food or whatever?" Because
Oh.
people, unfortunately, as we see with all the hoarding that we're seeing,
Yes.
that in a time of need like this, some people are very deceptive and may show up and try to say, well, I
You
couldn't
get-
bring my kid, then you
Yes.
can't get any food,
Yes. It's funny that you mentioned about the Las Vegas never heard in history that is closing. I just want to actually clarify this to our audience.
Because we
that-
have an international audience. So.
Yes, yes. Yes, 50 154. Oh no, 54 countries. But anyways, just to clarify what you said, never been heard of. It's not because it's Las Vegas. It is because we don't have all those people coming right now because they close all the borders. There's no flights coming in.
Right.
That's the only reason why. Otherwise, we'll be open. If you guys coming, yes, we'll be open. It's not because of anything. We're not.
Well, it's a little more than that because our president has declared a national
this-
emergency.
yes, that's
So
right.
he declared a national emergency and he has encouraged us to do social distancing. He's encouraged us to stay home. His whole purpose for the 15 days, he's asking people for 15 days to stay home, to stay away from stores, away from people, other people besides your family, of course, and especially stay away from elderly people and young babies because they're extremely susceptible to this virus.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
And it makes total sense. Like some people are a little bit out of shape because they're going, why you put the kids out of school? Well, here's the thing. We all love our children. And when our children come to us, whether it's our niece or our nephew or the neighbor next door or whatever, we embrace our children,
Yes,
right?
yes,
we love our children.
Yeah, we even though they're sick, we still go
Yes.
there for them. We are there for them no matter what. That's the thing.
And and what is happening is then if they end up being infected, they can be a carrier and infect someone else who's in the vulnerable group. For example, their grandparents or their parents if their parents happen to be older or have a compromised immune system. So this is why it's so important to keep the children at home, because we know it. If we have any school age children, you send them off to school, and as soon as school season starts, they just keep rotating the same cold, right? Every time you
I
turn
think that's
around.
I think that's what happened for the past few months, because I seen it. I literally have a cough that continuous cough. It goes off and then it goes back. But I never had flu or anything. I never
Mm-hmm.
had those kind of thing. And I think I remember somebody told me that this kind of cough that I heard to a lot of friends that it takes long, like 3 weeks that they went through that coughing. I think this is the start of that. I don't know.
Well, I don't pretend to be a doctor.
I know, right?
So
Thank you for not
yeah.
pretending to be a doctor.
Although I do like to go to the CDC website
Yeah.
and the World Health Organization
Yep.
website,
And go to the group that I just opened yesterday. It is let's fight COVID-19.
hmm
Yeah. Go on there and maybe you can give some information. So we need to learn. I think go ahead and join that page. That group is
join
because
the page, but be mindful of what you put on there, because we don't want to. I've heard some very bogus things put out where people will say, "Oh, if you're this particular type
oh
of
yes.
person, then you can't get ill, and if you're this, you
Yeah,
can't."
yeah. Be
And
careful of the information you get on the internet because not everything is true. Talking about that, I just actually, one of our friend posted this morning saying that I believe it's a governor of New York that is trying to get free rent, free that, our bills.
all right,
And then there, if you click on that form, on that post, you click on that post, it goes to a form where you put all your
oh
information.
no,
So
scam,
yes, thank you. And
scam.
then when it say and when it comes up, it didn't say about the governor, but it says about something doc something. I said, don't put your information.
Yes.
Please be careful. This is the time of downtime.
Scammers. Oh
Yeah, and
yeah.
yes, and scammers. You
hmm
know, when we are actually very vulnerable, you know
Right.
what happened? All the tigers and
The
things,
predators
the
come out.
predators come out. So
Yes.
yes,
So
please.
that is very wise. I even say when people send me these little links and go, a free day at Disneyland or a free this or a free that, I will not, number one, click on it.
Yes, don't click on
And
it.
number two, I'm not going to give out any of my personal
No,
information
no.
to win a $50 gift card or win a $250 gift card. Because even if they send you that $50 gift card or that $250 gift card, guess what? Now they can get thousands of dollars off of you because they'll steal your identity, access all the information that you've given them, and they run away with it.
Yeah, yeah, please, yeah,
So be
please be
careful.
careful. Yes.
hmm
Well, you know what? Because of this tragic or critical condition that we have in around the globe, I kind of forgot about you.
It's okay to forget about me. I'm all right.
But anyways, yeah, Miss Tamiya Do is actually a chaplain, and she is also a public speaker, coach, film director, film. Oh God, you're
Yeah.
jack of all trade.
God is good.
You know what? You have to practice your talent that God's given you.
Amen. Amen.
Yes. But anyways, I wanna actually start with because I remember when I saw you on Ninon Diversio,
Mm-hmm.
and you were talking about this, and I was like, I want a show like that.
And you have one now.
Yeah. Why should I care? And this is perfect for this timing. Why should I care?
Well, it's the title itself is perfect for the timing, but the actual premise of the movie doesn't necessarily fall into the timing. Yet, I guess it does, because people become the victims of domestic violence and sex trafficking every day. So even though we're focused on the COVID-19
19?
virus right now,
Mm-hmm.
there's still people right now living in bondage. There's more people living as human slaves right now in our history than there's ever been in any time in our history. And that is scary to say. Because if you were to ask somebody right now, are there currently any people living in slavery in the U.S., you would be like, oh, no way. They outlawed slavery 400 years ago and this and this and this. Yet, people who are sexed and human trafficked are modern day victims of slavery. So this story talks about the story of a young woman, and it's called Why Should I Care? Because it tells the story of this young woman and how what she does in her life and what's happening to her in her life affects everyone around her. And
That's
this is a multiple award winning film. We've actually shown it at multiple film festivals and won awards because the message is always timely. We forget that we are our brothers and sisters' keepers. So we need to pay attention to what is happening to our neighbors. You guys were kind of teasing a little bit earlier where you're saying there was some noise going on and there's all this stuff going. Well, we can't close our ears to what's happening to our neighbors because it'll spill into your house if you don't handle it. So pick up the phone. If you know, I mean, I teach a whole class on it. And now that we kind of have this shut-in thing going on, I'm going to be teaching a whole lot more online to give people access to the trainings that I do reference domestic violence awareness and sex trafficking awareness and human trafficking awareness on how to actually recognize it.
so the where they can actually find the classes, because if some of our viewers wanted to attend that, can they just come in or they have to sign up for that?
Well, it would be on video because now we're all encouraged to social distance ourselves. So therefore, more people are staying at home, which means more people are watching videos. So with that, I would encourage you to go to Chaplain Dow on Facebook, Chaplain Dow on Facebook. Each day I will have something new posted, and I will also make you aware of any videos I might have. I also have a YouTube channel called Tamia Dow TV Online, Tamia Dow TV Online, and I will also be posting videos there.
Oh well, now that she just mentioned that, I will be actually posting that classes that you have. I would I actually asking permission in front of the live audience that I would, because this is my our social media shows is about empowering and
Right.
inspiring others.
Right.
So I think this is perfect to empower them.
Right. I
Yes.
agree.
So
Yes.
I'm asking permission for me to live stream your videos.
Oh, so awesome. Yes, the more people who
Yes, she
know.
said yes.
Yeah, the more people who know, and also, so she was talking about me. I was really blessed to be the chaplain of an international police association for 12 years, and so I travel all around the world.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and I also retired from our local Las Vegas Metro Police Department after 23 years. And when I retired, I was a domestic violence detective, working with victims of domestic violence and sex trafficking and children, those kind of things. So it was like the Lord blessed me with this information, and I felt like, you know what, I have
It's
this
your
knowledge still.
responsibility to
Yeah.
pull it out there.
Yes,
Yes.
you know that I really believe that
Me too. I believe that.
it's for me to share, not to hold on to. I mean, could
Don't.
you imagine if I had chose to just retire and hit the beach?
Please don't, because our community, our people around the globe need someone like you. Someone like you. Not everybody have the audacity to actually help others,
Right.
either in any form, through videos,
Right.
through physical ways, through any way, financially for those rich people. But
Hello, rich people.
hello, rich people. Yes, we are here. But
Help me make my films, my educational films.
exactly. Help us to inspire others and empower others, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
so if you actually hide that talent that you have, Tamia, then I'm gonna be mad at you, and God will be mad at you.
If what? Hide it?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Oh no!
If, you're not, if you said earlier that you retire and go to the no,
Right.
then they will. God will be mad at you. I'm
Right,
glad
he
that
didn't allow me to do that.
Yes.
No, I think I ran out immediately and began because I was still plugged into the International Police Association,
That's
so I was able to
good.
continue to do trainings
Amazing.
all around the world. Plus, what really blesses me, because I know we have an audience that's all around the world. So during this. I like to say Corona. I don't want to say not that I like to say Corona. Do you know what Corona
Yeah,
stands
Bud
for?
Light.
In Spanish, it stands for crown.
Crown, yes. We were talking about that for the previous shows that we have. I was telling that to the kid, like, do you know that the coronavirus came from the royal family? And she's like, why? Because they have the crown. That's the corona.
I don't know about that. Might be some misdirection there.
It is a joke, people.
But when you think about who wears the crown, now I'm a chaplain and I'm a minister, and therefore the person that wears the crown in my life is God. God is always going to be on the throne and wear the crown. So when we hear about Corona, I say that we should remember that God works all things together for the good of those who love Him.
I love
So
that.
remember that and reflect on that. Don't be so in despair, like we talked about a little bit earlier about the going through the shadow, the valley, right, as opposed to sitting in it. And some folks right now are sitting in the valley. They're sitting there going, woe is me, what am I supposed to do? And the enemy is the one who's getting the victory when that's happening,
Yep.
because he's got you, discouraged and confused and chaos, and our God is a God of order. He is not about chaos. So if you find yourself feeling chaotic and confused, and that's not God. And you have to still yourself. He says, be still and know that He is God. You have to still your mind and still yourself and meditate and pray. Focus on God and ask Him daily, what is it that you would have me do during this time, right? I talked earlier today on my Facebook. I hadn't seen so many people out walking around the neighborhood, just walking around the neighborhood, even though you're supposed to self quarantine. They were walking around, getting out, walking their dogs, things such as that. Take this time and make the most of
Of
it,
it. I love that.
right? Focus on
Yes.
the good and
Uh-huh.
make it good, right? Make it. I remember the Star Trek episodes used to say that the captain would say to his guy next to him, he'd say, "Make it so, number one," meaning make it happen. And we're the only ones that can make ourselves happy. We and our relationship with God. We're the only ones that can change our mindset and decide what we really want to do with our day. We are the only ones that can personally worship God. I
Yeah.
can't
You're in
worship God for
control.
you, right?
Yes.
You have to worship God. Your relationship with God is about you. You
Mm-hmm.
can't talk about your mom praying for you. You can't talk about, because I hear that all the time.
Yes.
Oh, my auntie goes to church.
Yeah, yes. No, no one, instead of relying on somebody for your own happiness, it's your own responsibility how to become happy, how to be, to everything that you do,
Right.
it's your responsibility. And if something goes, the wrong way, or there's a mistake happen, don't even blame to anybody, because you know what, if they try to help you and something went wrong, it's not their fault, it's still you.
Right. I say, and we've never really found who it really comes from, but I say that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you choose
Choose
to
to.
respond to it.
I like that. I'm gonna be using that in my show all the
Mm-hmm.
time. 10%
10% what
happen to
happens,
what happens, and 90%
90% how
is
you
your
choose to
yes.
respond. Exactly.
Yes, yes.
Whether it's you're in the line and somebody cuts you off, whether it's the line at the store or the line in your car, whether it's someone says a bad word to you or something like that, you can choose your response. It's really up to you. You can't sit there and say that person made me do it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody makes you do anything. You have free will and you are in control. And you also have free will, number one, to obey what the authorities placed over us, which is, our government and our president, to obey and what they call it, self quarantine, do the social distancing, keep washing your hands, help keep your family safe, and figure out how to best use this downtime, because you're the one who will work it together for good, right? Ask the Lord, what is it that you'll have me do? And I feel, Maria and I were talking, that we feel that if you're quarantined, if you're shut in to your house, get some education.
I like
Start
that.
watching
Yes.
videos for education.
Mm-hmm.
There are hundreds of thousands of videos out there. And there's no excuse for us not to be using this time to build up and empower ourselves.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, talking about empowering ourselves, all these books that we have out here are very empowering. It's more of empowering yourself.
Yes.
So let's start talking about faith is.
Yes, so this is the very first book that I compiled for the chaplaincy that I'm in, this Chaplaincy Nevada, and you can find it at chaplaincynevada.org. If you've ever been interested in being a minister and actually working with people in the community here, you will recognize us, those of you who are in Nevada and in Las Vegas, you'll recognize us because we're the chaplains that have on the black shirts, and we're usually at what they call call-outs when the police are going into neighborhoods and maybe a shooting has just happened or some other tragedy has happened in the neighborhood. They'll call upon us to join them in the community. Not all of our chaplains do that, but that's one of the ministries that we do. We also go and visit people in the prisons, we visit people in the hospital. We work with the veterans, which is one of my fortes because I am also a veteran of the U.S. Army.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
She is in service on your jack of all trade.
I've been in service since I was a kid. I literally, because
Wow.
I went from being a Girl Scout, that's service, right?
Yes, yes.
To going to high school, and I was in student council, and then going to college, and I was in ROTC, which is the Reserve Officer Training Corps, and on student council and student government there. And then I went on the police department, which is another act of service. You know, I
Yes.
mean, so it's just service, service,
Yeah,
service.
and now she's still in service by servicing,
Exactly.
training, and servicing the community.
Exactly.
That's amazing. That's that's very impressive.
Well, I'm a woman of service, and I believe that that our life is a gift from God, and what we do with our life is our gift back to Him.
Oh yes.
So
I
instead
love.
of sitting and at your house and going, oh, I'm just existing, because some of you folks are just existing. You go to work and you come back home, and you go to work and you come back home. And I'm saying this is before the coronavirus, when we're all forced to be home. Yet while you're home, there's things you can be doing. You could be reaching out to people. You could be sharing words of encouragement. Because watch yourself. What are you saying? What's coming out of your mouth on your Facebook page? Are you saying stuff like negative, 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 negative? I'm not going to even say what it might be. Or are you sharing positives? Are you looking and finding things to encourage people who are looking at your Facebook page? The choice is yours, what you choose to do.
I choose to be sarcastic all the time.
Is it uplifting?
It's uplifting sarcasm.
Okay, because sometimes people like comedy.
It's humor.
Yeah.
I mean,
sometimes you need a humor.
Yeah.
A little bit of, we used to call it tombstone humors in the police department.
Oh.
Yeah. Because we see a lot of dark things, and so when you see dark things, you kind of need something, you'll find that cops love to watch comedies. We love to watch comedies.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Well, because of to be able to laugh, and just the ability to laugh, because when you see such dark things, there's things we see we cannot unsee. And so we just need that kind of a respite, to go. And that's why I am so sad that the movie theaters are shut down. They closed the movie theaters
I
down.
know.
And at least even during this corona, you could have gone and,
Yes,
watched a movie
exactly,
and
yes.
escaped for like 2 hours.
Yes, and then just kind of like screen them if they have cough or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, now you'll go to your Netflix or whatever. I'm not trying to promote one platform or the other, but you'll have some type of a streaming
Or
service.
just watch our shows, because we are gonna be going on showing our shows regularly. We're not gonna be stopping, and because like what I said before, our shows are all about empowering, and inspiring others. We make you laugh. You watch our performers, our musicians, and everything. So it's all empowering. We don't go with. I don't like to go and do newscasting, because no, we don't
You
want
guys
that.
get enough newscasting.
Yes, they will tell me,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to watch that. That's why we are just going on, whenever we have our talk shows in our channel, it's all about, it's real people. We are talking like real people, like we're just talking like friends.
Right.
Nothing scripted. Even our comedy show is not scripted.
Right.
It's all impromptu. So yeah, go and watch our shows.
Yeah, so I believe that what Maria has put together should inspire you also. I write dramas, so I write short dramas. They're educational dramas focused on different current event topics, and they're faith based. So when I say faith based, you're not going to watch one of my movies and see cussing or sexual explicit things that like that. Though my message may be something that will be shocking, because like I said, I talk about sex trafficking, I talk about child sexual seduction and different topics like that. So I talk about veterans homelessness, mental illness, suicide, those kind of things are talked about inside my dramas. And they are fictional dramas, they're scripted dramas, and they're educational dramas. And I do that on purpose because I know everybody likes a good story.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Everybody likes a good
Sit
story.
down in your couch and watch a good story, of course.
And get connected to the characters and want to find out and be invested in what happens with them. And that's the way I write my stories. And I make sure I have very diverse characters in my story. I never have, like one particular type of a race or, character or anything like that, because life happens to everyone. And when I worked as a police officer, I dealt with people of every race in every class, because some of you guys are from other countries, rich or poor, or, riding the bus or riding a Mercedes. I dealt with them all. And here's the thing, every single one of us live this life. And things happen to us regardless of whether you're rich or poor. Like they said, the sun shines on the rich and the poor, and the rain falls on the rich and the poor. So I just take people through stories and educational stories to encourage them and to open their eyes. I do that now through both books and
Yes, admit one. So tell us.
movies.
Oh, that's the movie.
That's the movie,
So this
yes.
is the movie. So yeah, you will see a clip of her show. Why should I care after this interview, and you're gonna see what she is talking about, and where they can find all your books.
So you can find me on Amazon. Oh, I'll talk about this one too. You can find me on Amazon under Tamia Dow. So just go to Amazon and type in Tamia Dow as the author, and then my books will come up. I'm actually the co-author of at least 13 books that are on there. I am the compiler
Amazing.
of 3 books, which are these here, which are Faith Is, Jesus Is, and then there's another book called Love Is. But you can find all of them on my page on Amazon. Also, when you buy one of these 3 books, the proceeds go directly to Chaplaincy. So you benefit the chaplains who are not paid. They all volunteer. So you help us run our academies and train more chaplains to go out there and serve the community. So all the proceeds from these books will go to that. And then those of you that are sitting at home right now and you're kind of shut in, I want you to celebrate yourself. So this is one of my favorite books. I'm a book coach. I'm also a business coach. And I always tell people that they need to tell the story of their life, their testimony, and the story of their business. So I have this book that's created called In Celebration of You.
Let's celebrate ourselves.
In Celebration of You. And it's a workbook. It says fun activities to help you rediscover you. And it's by me, Tamia Dow. So I would encourage you to pick up a copy of this when you're on Amazon. And especially now that you're shut in, pick up a copy of this book. It is so much fun, if I may say so myself, because I created this book in response to my clients saying, wouldn't it be cool if you put all these questions together so we could work it together like a workbook? So that is exactly what I have done. And what is so encouraging about this book is it takes you back. It really makes you focus on you and who you are. And since we have so much time at home right now,
Yes,
time
yes.
to ourselves right
Yes,
now,
use this one. Use something, if you're looking for something to do, get one of the book.
pick up the book. Yes. And then what's fun with this too is if you pick it up and your family's at home, do the book with your family. Share the stories, answer the questions, share the stories. Now is the time to tell your children their history. Tell your children about their grandparents. I know my nieces and nephews didn't know that my grandfather, which is their great grandfather, was him, and my grandmother both were entrepreneurs in Buffalo, New York. My grandfather owned Dow Collision Shop, and my grandmother owned a grocery store. They both were business owners, and my nieces and nephews don't even know the story of their great grandparents. So I would encourage you to go through this book, share these stories in this time when you're home with your children and your family, and make it an activity, a fun activity. You don't have to always be watching videos or always be watching TV. Pick up the book and answer the questions and do it as a family. And then let you know that when you do purchase this book, the proceeds go towards helping me make more movies and also increase education for domestic violence and sex trafficking.
Thank you so much about that, Tamiya. Yes, get that book so that we can see more movies and films from Tamiya Dio to Tamiya Dow.
Dow, like the
Yes.
stock market.
It's the
Don't
Dow,
get me
yes.
started.
That way she can inspire more of more people around the globe. And thank you so much for staying with my show. Thank you for
Amen.
gracing
Thank
my
you.
show.
Thank you.
And for you guys who have a talent, you guys want to be on this seat, please come down. Our email is info@socialmediashows.com. You can visit us on our socialmediashows.com, also on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all social media platforms. We are all over the place. You can just type in on Google and you'll find all our accounts. That being said, thank you so much. Please stay safe, everyone.
Yes.
Stay healthy and pray and hope for the best. Please stay away from negativity because we don't need that right now.
Yes. And it's your choice.
And it's your choice. Yes. Thank you and see you guys soon.
Amen. Bye.